Zoran Mamdani throws the pro-Palestine movement under the bus during an interview with Al Two-Toe Shuckin' and Jivin' Sharpton. During this interview, the new addition to the sellout socialist clubs discouraged any use of the phrase globalization of the Intifada.
Now, let's talk about anti-Semitism. New York City is the home of the largest Jewish population outside of Israel. The mayor must build a relationship, whoever the mayor becomes, trust in all communities of the city. The term globalize the Intifada has become a flashpoint for Jewish New Yorkers who say they're concerned about how your views on the Israeli-Gaza conflict will influence how you govern the city. You said on Meet the Press in July, that's not language you would use, but you don't want to police the speech of others. But we both know words matter, and words have consequences, and sometimes we need to examine our own positions to build unity. Has your personal views on the phrase of global intifada changed since you've been running for mayor? Do you understand those that see it in a more threatening way than saying, I'm just not going to police other people's language?
Yes, they have. And you know, when we won the primary election, I said on that stage that I know that millions of New Yorkers care deeply about what happens in Israel and Palestine, and I'm one of those New Yorkers. And I commit to reaching even further to understand disagreement, to wrestle with the complexities of those differing viewpoints, because what this city deserves is a mayor that looks not only to represent the close to 600,000 New Yorkers that voted for me, but rather the 8.5 million people that call this city home. And in the meetings that I have had since that moment, I've met with Jewish elected officials, with rabbis, with community leaders, and there was one rabbi that spoke to me about how that phrase, for her, brought back memories of bus bombings in Haifa, of restaurant attacks in Jerusalem. And I knew that from what she was sharing with me that she had a fear, as she said, that could come home to New York City. And so in having that conversation with her, I knew that the gap between the intent that I have heard some New Yorkers share with the use of that language of calling for the end of the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land was disconnected from the impact it was having in that same conversation I was having with that rabbi. And so I have said, after having that conversation, that this is language I would discourage.
Yes, because Zionist hurt feelings, Zoran, should absolutely be equivocated with the Palestinians suffering under an apartheid genocidal regime. Understand, global intifada only means that you're against the Zionist state, that you're against the terrorism that they commit, in the apartheid that they are participating in, and the genocide that they are carrying out. To pretend that the phrase means anything other than that is completely and totally disingenuous. And instead of using his voice to educate people on what that means, he instead kowtows to Zionists. And we're supposed to believe that he's going to be different than AOC and Bernie? Now, why would y'all expect him to be any different than Bernie Sanders when he's clearly taking instructions from Bernie Sanders, because it was Bernie who told Mamdani he needs to carefully address what he said about Israel. And it looks like Mamdani took his advice. To make the situation worse, just days after he said that, Israel killed 40 people in Gaza. They destroyed multiple high-rise buildings. They destroyed a mosque. They bombed a flotilla. They tried to assassinate multiple leaders from Hamas during a ceasefire agreement, killing that ceasefire agreement. And Zoran Mamdani had absolutely nothing to say about any of this.